What if that refrigerator in your kitchen is quietly damaging your health day after day? It seems unbelievable, doesn't it? Yet tucked away in that chilled appliance are 9 everyday foods that suffer harmful effects from cold storage in ways most older adults never learn about. We're not simply talking about flavor or consistency issues. We're discussing dangerous molecular transformations, vitamin depletion, and harmful bacterial development caused by refrigerated storage. Here's the frightening reality. More than 99% of individuals over 60 continue storing these foods in the fridge, unaware of the harm it's causing to their digestive system, cardiovascular health, and even cognitive function. Some researchers now suggest that our modern fixation on refrigerating everything might be playing a role in increasing chronic health conditions. Today, however, we're revealing the actual scientific facts. In this presentation, we'll expose the 9 foods that should never be refrigerated, plus the straightforward facts about proper storage methods for these items. Wait until you discover number 2 on our countdown. It may surprise you beyond belief. Every statement we make has support from scientific research studies. You'll find links to all our references in the description section below. Before we start, please tell us in the comments where you're viewing from, your age, and whether you've experienced any taste or texture differences when refrigerating particular foods. We read and respond to each comment with customized suggestions and guidance. Remember to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for additional content like this. Now let's dive right in without delay. Number 9. Potatoes. Here's information that may surprise you completely. When you place potatoes in your refrigerator, you're actually forming a harmful substance. This isn't an overstatement. Cold temperatures transform the potato's natural starches into sugars via a mechanism known as cold-induced sweetening. This goes beyond just flavor concerns. When you prepare these chilled potatoes using high heat, those sugars react with amino acids, creating acrylamide. The International Agency for Research on Cancer labels acrylamide as a likely cancer-causing agent. Research from the University of Idaho revealed that potatoes kept at refrigerator temperatures demonstrated a 300% rise in sugar levels in merely 14 days. That's 3 times the sugar amount, and it occurs more quickly than you'd expect. The scientists examined more than 500 potato specimens, and the findings were uniform across every type. The consistency changes as well. Cold temperatures damage the cellular structure, creating potatoes that become gritty and disagreeably sweet. Ever wondered why your mashed potatoes occasionally taste strange? Now you understand. The refrigerator is damaging them at the microscopic level. So what's the correct way to store potatoes? Keep them in a cool, dim location around 45 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit. A pantry, basement, or even a cardboard container in a closet works wonderfully. The essential factor is darkness. Light causes solanine production. That's the green substance that makes potatoes poisonous. Yes, actually toxic. Store them in paper bags or baskets that permit air movement. Never use plastic containers that capture moisture and lead to decay. Here's an expert tip most folks don't realize. Keep your potatoes separated from onions. Both vegetables emit gases that accelerate spoiling in the other. Maintain at least 3 feet of distance between them. Using correct storage methods, potatoes remain good for up to 3 months. In the refrigerator, they'll be damaged within 2 weeks. Number 8. Bread. This one catches everyone off guard. Your refrigerator is actually causing your bread to become stale more rapidly. It sounds contradictory, but the research is definitive. Refrigeration speeds up starch retrogradation. That's the technical term for when starch molecules form crystals and expel moisture. Scientists at the Institute of Food Technologists found that bread kept at refrigerator temperatures becomes stale 6 times more quickly than bread maintained at room temperature. 6 times faster. They tested bread firmness over time and discovered that refrigerated bread turned hard and crumbly within just 3 days. Room temperature bread remained fresh for an entire week. Cold temperatures also eliminate the bread's natural flavor elements. Those volatile organic substances that create fresh bread's wonderful aroma break down quickly in the cold. Your taste buds aren't deceiving you when chilled bread tastes like cardboard. The optimal method for storing bread is in a bread container or paper bag at room temperature. The storage should permit some airflow to avoid mold while keeping sufficient moisture to maintain softness. If you can't consume a loaf within a week, here's the solution. Slice it first, then freeze it. Freezing actually maintains bread quality better than refrigeration because it occurs so rapidly that ice crystals can't damage the structure. When you want bread, simply place frozen slices straight into the toaster. They'll taste nearly as good as fresh. The secret is moving directly from freezer to toaster. Don't allow them to thaw first. That's when moisture issues begin. Number 7. Honey represents perhaps nature's most ideal food. It genuinely never spoils. Archaeological teams have discovered 3,000-year-old honey in Egyptian burial sites that remained perfectly edible. Yet place it in your refrigerator and you'll destroy it within weeks. Cold temperatures make honey crystallize quickly. This isn't harmful, but it transforms everything about the honey. The smooth, golden liquid becomes a rough, solid mass that won't dissolve correctly. More significantly, refrigeration can allow moisture into your honey container. Each time you open that cold jar, condensation develops. That moisture is honey's greatest enemy. Research from the National Honey Board discovered that honey stored below 50 degrees Fahrenheit loses up to 35% of its antimicrobial qualities. These are the substances that make honey a natural antibiotic. Ancient cultures used honey for wound treatment because of these characteristics. Your refrigerator is eliminating them. The taste changes too. Honey includes over 180 different elements that produce its complex flavor. Cold storage makes these elements deteriorate unevenly. Your costly raw honey begins tasting like inexpensive sugar water. Keep honey at room temperature in a sealed container. The perfect temperature range is 64 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Store it away from direct sunlight, which can reduce its quality. If your honey crystallizes, don't discard it. Put the container in warm water and stir gently. It will become liquid again without losing beneficial properties. Here's something most people don't realize. Honey's color shows its antioxidant level. Darker honey has more antioxidants, but refrigeration impacts dark honey more severely than light honey. Those valuable antioxidants are especially sensitive to cold temperatures. Number 6. Coffee. Coffee enthusiasts, prepare yourselves. That premium coffee you're keeping in the refrigerator, you're ruining it. The refrigerator is coffee's greatest enemy, and here's the explanation. Coffee beans are extremely porous. They soak up smells and tastes from everything nearby. Your refrigerator contains odors from yesterday's Chinese takeout, that forgotten cheese, and countless other items. Your coffee is absorbing everything like a sponge. That's why your morning coffee tastes odd, but smell absorption is only the start. The continuous temperature changes in your refrigerator cause condensation on the beans. This moisture causes early aging and may even lead to mold development. Research from the Specialty Coffee Association revealed that refrigerated coffee beans lose 60% of their aromatic elements within 1 week. The oils in coffee beans, which hold most of the flavor, solidify at cold temperatures. When you grind cold beans, these hardened oils don't extract correctly during brewing. You end up with weak, tasteless coffee that bears no resemblance to what it should be. The correct storage method for coffee is an airtight container at room temperature. Not just any container, it must be opaque because light damages coffee quality. The perfect storage temperature is 60 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit with steady temperature. Purchase coffee in small amounts you'll consume within 2 weeks. Once you open a package, time starts counting. Oxygen is coffee's other adversary. Some coffee lovers use vacuum-sealed containers, but honestly, buying fresh and using it quickly works better. If you absolutely must store coffee long-term, the freezer actually works better than the refrigerator. But there's a condition. You can only freeze it once. Divide your coffee into weekly portions. Freeze them in airtight bags and only remove what you need. Never refreeze coffee. The moisture damage from repeated freezing and thawing cannot be reversed. Number 5. Garlic in the refrigerator creates a disaster waiting to occur. Not only does it lose strength, but it can actually become hazardous. Let me explain why this is important, particularly for seniors who depend on garlic's health advantages. When garlic is kept in the refrigerator, it starts sprouting. Those green shoots aren't merely unattractive. They're bitter and can upset digestion. But that's not the worst issue. The damp, cold environment of your refrigerator can encourage mold growth on garlic. Some of these molds create mycotoxins, which are seriously dangerous compounds. Studies from the University of California at Davis showed that refrigerated garlic loses 50% of its allicin content within 10 days. Allicin is the substance that provides garlic its healing properties. It's what makes garlic antibacterial, antiviral, and good for heart health. By refrigerating garlic, you're literally discarding half its benefits. The texture also suffers. Cold temperatures destroy garlic's cell walls, making it soft and difficult to chop correctly. Ever attempted to mince refrigerated garlic? It becomes a paste that sticks to everything. Keep garlic in a cool, dry location with good ventilation. A mesh bag or basket works perfectly. The ideal temperature is around 60 to 65 degrees Fahrenheit. Never store garlic in plastic or sealed containers. It needs air circulation. Keep garlic away from direct sunlight, which can make it bitter. Also, don't store it near the stove. Heat and humidity from cooking will cause faster sprouting. With correct storage, a whole garlic head can last up to 6 months. Once you separate the head, use the cloves within 10 days for optimal quality. Here's a tip that will transform your cooking. Room temperature garlic releases flavors more easily than cold garlic. Those essential oils that carry flavor need to be liquid, not solidified by cold. Your dishes will taste noticeably better with properly stored garlic. Number 4. Bananas, and refrigerators create a terrible combination. Put a banana in the fridge and watch it become a black, mushy disaster. But the damage extends far beyond appearance. Cold temperatures cause what scientists call chilling injury. Bananas are tropical fruits that never encounter cold in nature. Their cells simply cannot handle it. Cell membranes break, enzymes leak out, and the fruit starts deteriorating from within. Research from the Queensland Department of Agriculture found that bananas stored below 56 degrees Fahrenheit lose 80% of their vitamin C within 5 days. They also stop creating new nutrients. Bananas typically continue developing beneficial substances as they ripen. Refrigeration stops this process entirely. The blackened skin isn't just unsightly. It shows that the fruit's natural protection systems have failed. Those dark areas are spots where fruit tissue has died. Dead tissue can harbor bacteria and mold, even when invisible. Store bananas at room temperature, ideally between 56 and 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Hang them on a banana hook to avoid bruising. The ethylene gas they release needs to move around the fruit for correct ripening. Here's a trick grocery stores don't want you knowing. You can control banana ripening speed. To accelerate ripening, place them in a paper bag with an apple. To slow ripening, separate the bunch and wrap each stem in plastic wrap. This reduces ethylene gas release by up to 40%. Once bananas reach perfect ripeness, you can refrigerate them for 1 or 2 days maximum. The skin will darken, but the interior stays acceptable. Even better, peel and freeze them for smoothies. Frozen bananas actually create better smoothies than fresh ones because they provide creamy texture without needing ice. Number 3. Onions. Storing onions in the refrigerator might be the largest storage error people make. The damage happens immediately and cannot be undone. Here's what occurs the moment you close that refrigerator door. Your refrigerator's humidity typically runs around 95%. Onions require 65% humidity or less. That extra moisture gets through the onion's papery outer layers and creates perfect conditions for mold growth. Black mold on onions produces aflatoxins, some of the most cancer-causing substances known to science. But before mold even shows up, cold temperature transforms the onion starches into sugars. Research from Texas A&M University found that refrigerated onions showed a 270% increase in sugar content after 2 weeks. This completely alters their flavor and cooking characteristics. Your French onion soup will taste like dessert. The texture becomes mushy and soft because ice crystals form inside cells and break them. Once this occurs, the onion loses its ability to caramelize correctly. Those beautiful golden brown onions you see in restaurants become impossible with refrigerated onions. Store whole onions in a cool, dry, well-ventilated area. A pantry or cellar works ideally. Temperature should range from 45 to 55 degrees Fahrenheit. Never keep them in plastic bags. Onions need to breathe. A mesh bag, basket, or even pantyhose works wonderfully. Keep onions away from potatoes. I mentioned this before, but it's worth repeating. They release gases that spoil each other. Also, keep them from direct sunlight, which causes sprouting. Once you cut an onion, everything changes. Cut onions should go in the refrigerator in an airtight container and be used within 7 days. The cut surface is vulnerable to bacteria, so refrigeration becomes necessary. But whole onions, never in the fridge. Number 2, tomatoes. Now we've reached the food that will amaze you most, tomatoes. The truth about refrigerating tomatoes is so disturbing that many people won't believe it. But the science is unquestionable. University of Florida researchers made a revolutionary discovery. Refrigeration doesn't just affect tomato texture and taste, it actually shuts down their genes. Specifically, the genes responsible for creating flavor compounds. Once these genes turn off, they never fully recover. Even if you remove the tomato and let it warm up, the damage is permanent. The study analyzed over 25,000 genes in tomatoes and found that temperatures below 54 degrees Fahrenheit deactivated hundreds of them. The tomato literally stops being a tomato at the genetic level. It becomes a red water balloon with no nutritional value. Here's where it becomes really serious for seniors. Tomatoes are among the best sources of lycopene, a powerful antioxidant that protects against heart disease and certain cancers. Cold storage reduces lycopene availability by up to 65%. But that's not just a 65% loss. Lycopene needs specific enzymes to be absorbed by your body. Refrigeration destroys these enzymes completely. Even the remaining 35% becomes useless. The texture destruction is visible under microscope examination. Ice crystals form between cell walls, creating microscopic holes throughout the fruit. This is why refrigerated tomatoes become mealy and grainy. The cellular structure has been torn apart from inside. You must store tomatoes at room temperature, stem side down. This prevents moisture from entering through the stem scar and blocks bacteria entry. The ideal temperature is 55 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Keep them from direct sunlight, but don't hide them in dark cabinets. They need indirect light to maintain nutrients. Never store tomatoes in plastic bags. They release ethylene gas that must escape. If trapped, this gas speeds up rotting. A single rotten tomato in a plastic bag can destroy an entire batch within 24 hours. Ripe tomatoes should be consumed within 3 to 5 days. If you have too many, make sauce and freeze that instead. Cooked tomato products actually contain more available lycopene than raw tomatoes, and freezing preserves it perfectly. Number 1. Avocados. We've saved the most critical for last. What happens to avocados in the refrigerator should be illegal. The destruction is so complete, so devastating, that it makes all other foods seem like minor problems in comparison. Avocados contain over 20 essential nutrients. They're among the only fruits providing healthy fats, specifically oleic acid, which is vital for brain health in seniors. But refrigeration destroys these fats through lipid peroxidation. Cold temperature causes fats to oxidize rapidly, creating harmful free radicals instead of beneficial nutrients. Stanford University researchers discovered that refrigerated avocados lose 90% of their antioxidant activity within 4 days. 90%. These antioxidants, including vitamins E and C, are what make avocados so valuable for aging bodies. They protect against inflammation, support eye health, and boost nutrient absorption from other foods. But here's the truly shocking part. Cold temperature doesn't just stop ripening. It triggers an enzyme that actively destroys the fruit from within. This enzyme, polyphenol oxidase, is the same one causing browning. But in cold conditions, it works overtime, breaking down cell walls and converting healthy compounds into bitter, potentially harmful substances. The texture change cannot be reversed. Those smooth, creamy avocados become stringy, watery disappointments. The fats separate from fiber, creating an oily mess that's impossible to mash properly. Your guacamole will be ruined before you begin. Store unripe avocados at room temperature. ideally between 65 and 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Place them in a bowl on your counter, not in a closed bag. They need air circulation to ripen correctly. To speed ripening, place them in a paper bag with a banana. The ethylene gas from the banana can cut ripening time in half. Once ripe, avocados can be refrigerated for a maximum of 2 to 3 days, if absolutely necessary. But quality loss is significant. Better to buy avocados at different ripeness stages, so you always have perfectly ripe ones available. If you cut an avocado and can't use it all, here's the secret. Keep the pit in the unused half and brush exposed flesh with lemon juice. Store it in an airtight container with a piece of onion. The sulfur compounds from the onion prevent browning without affecting taste. This method keeps cut avocados fresh for up to 2 days at room temperature. The difference between properly stored avocado and a refrigerated one is like night and day. Proper storage preserves those brain-boosting fats, maintains creamy texture, and keeps all those age-fighting nutrients intact. Your body will thank you. Conclusion. Finally, the truth about refrigeration has been concealed for far too long. These 9 foods represent thousands of dollars in wasted groceries and measurable nutritional loss. More importantly, they represent missed opportunities for better health in our golden years. Every nutrient matters when you're fighting aging, maintaining cognitive function, and staying healthy. Don't let your refrigerator undermine your efforts. Store these foods correctly and reclaim their full nutritional power. Your body deserves nothing less than the best, and now you know how to provide it. Now we want to hear from you. Which of these foods surprised you most, and have you been refrigerating it for years without knowing the damage? Share your experiences and opinions in the comments below. We love hearing from you. Thanks for watching.